Commissioner Schaefer.
My question has, I want to circle back around to Commissioner Rice's question about cost of living, and come at it from the family point of view, because I think we can all agree that and here's my question: was there another indicator that you look at besides the qualification for free and reduced meal? Because depending on where you live, if you don't qualify for a certain amount of aid, your cost of living as somebody that needs services as a family can be higher in different jurisdictions. And there's a larger gap in areas between the assistance that you can get and qualify for versus what you really need to be fully supported, and then therefore our students fully supported to come to school ready to learn, which is kind of where the cost of living comes into play. I'm wondering if there's another indicator for low-income students beyond the federal level.
Well, okay. So if you look across the United States, about 20% of the kids in our public schools are living below the poverty line. More than 50% are now on free and reduced lunch. It's a big difference. These are measures that are relatively easy for the authorities to get, which is why they're used. There are lots of others that could be used, and some that are probably more predictive of the kinds of problems that kids present that one would want to take into account. I said earlier that in the countries we've studied, the preferred indicator is mother's education level. And this actually goes right back to the Coleman report, which shows that the education of the parents is probably more correlated than anything else. And I think that's for reasons that Paul's presentation makes pretty clear, that it's a big cultural determinant. How many words of vocabulary the kid comes to school with, and so on. So the answer is yes, there are other measures that could be used, but you have to take into account the cost of getting the data, the possibility and the cost of getting the data. And that's, I repeat, that's why proportion living below the poverty line and free and reduced lunch are so widely used. That's basically it.
One other that we noticed that the top performers use often is single-family household. Mm-hmm. And you saw that in Paul's slide, how impactful that is.
Right.
Thank you.